Week 3 of the 2025 NFL season brings fresh challenges for fantasy football managers, as early season volatility continues to create headaches for lineup decisions. Week 2 demonstrated just how unpredictable the league can be, with 6 quarterbacks drafted outside the top 16 finishing inside the top 10, including Russell Wilson, Drake Maye, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, Mac Jones, and Spencer Rattler. Running backs drafted outside the top 40, such as Javonte Williams and Rhamondre Stevenson, finished inside the top 6, while wide receivers like Wan'Dale Robinson, Hunter Renfrow, and Troy Franklin defied expectations by placing inside the top 8 despite late draft positions. At tight end, only a handful of players with high ADPs, Tucker Kraft, Trey McBride, and Tyler Warren, met expectations, underscoring the difficulty of accurate predictions. With such variability, having expert rankings can help navigate the uncertainty of Week 3 matchups. Quarterback matchups this week highlight several strong options. Baker Mayfield faces the New York Jets, who surrendered significant fantasy points to quarterbacks from Week 6 onward last season, allowing more than 20 points in multiple games. Caleb Williams draws the Dallas Cowboys, a defense that consistently struggled against passers in 2024, giving up at least 23 fantasy points in most matchups. Other quarterbacks with favorable Week 3 contests include Jared Goff at the Ravens, Stroud at the Jaguars, Carson Wentz versus the Bengals, and Jake Browning at the Vikings, offering managers multiple avenues for reliable production. Running backs with exploitable matchups include Kenneth Walker against the New Orleans Saints, who ranked among the worst defenses for fantasy backfields in the latter half of 2024. Isiah Pacheco faces the Giants, who have already surrendered significant fantasy points to runners this season. Additional options with strong matchups are Javonte Williams at the Bears, Jordan Mason versus the Bengals, Jaylen Warren at the Patriots, and Nick Chubb at the Jaguars, providing managers flexibility at the position. Wide receivers such as Odunze face the Dallas Cowboys, a defense that struggled mightily against wideouts late last season. McMillan versus the Atlanta Falcons offers another enticing matchup, as Atlanta allowed high production to receivers throughout 2024. Other notable wideout opportunities include A.J. Brown versus the Rams, Courtland Sutton at the Chargers, Garrett Wilson at the Buccaneers, George Pickens at the Bears, and Chris Olave at the Seahawks. Tight ends with favorable matchups this week include Zach Ertz versus the Raiders, who allowed significant production to tight ends last season, and T.J. Hawkinson facing the Bengals, who surrendered double-digit points to multiple tight ends. Other promising options include Jonnu Smith at the Patriots, Kyle Pitts versus the Panthers, and Jake Ferguson at the Bears. Given the unpredictable nature of fantasy,